Hi everyone. So I wanted to talk about narration. This was something that was suggested to me about ideas, the topics to talk about. So as I've stated in previous videos, um, like the author newbie tag, my preferred narration to read in would be first person. Although there are some third that I do enjoy, such as Harry Potter. The thing is, from what I've heard people say, in their opinion and everything, is that first person narration books are usually more character driven, whereas third person is a little bit more plot driven. Now, I love books that have a good balance of this. I love books that really can, you know, make you see who the characters are and also have a very good solid story to go with it. And sometimes one lacks the other because, of course, one dominates a little bit more. But still, I think it's very important to really have both. Um, and some of my favorite stories, they do kind of lack in those a little bit, but they're not so bad that, I didn't continue reading the series or whatnot. Some series are a little bit of a tease and everything, and don't do that. That's one of the things I don't plan on doing with my books, and I think it's one of the reasons why I haven't completed one yet, because I just keep having these ideas and everything. And looking back at the books and stuff that I like and everything, and stuff out of them that I did not like, I'm trying to kind of not do that to my future audience. Take The Giver, for example. I enjoyed that book. I kind of refuse to see the movie because it looks like crap compared to the book. But, yeah. I read that, and then I read Gathering Blue. While I did like the story, I didn't care for the character of Kira as much as I did for Jonas. Kira's world is not only cruel but kind of sexist. She does talk about how women are not allowed to read, and there's a scene where she turns so she will not, learn when this boy is writing and everything. And I guess I can kind of see the fact that she grew up in that world and everything, but it's not just as a woman, but as a reader, period. She wasn't somebody that you really wanted to root for to change this world and everything, as opposed to how we might have felt about Jonas. And this is the second book. It's not really serious. It's a companion novel, but you get my point. I think when you're gonna build like a kind of false utopian dystopian, you want kind of that strong-willed character, and she was a little bit, but not as much as I would have liked. And that one's told in third person, and so with those books we get a little bit of how their world is and everything. But like I said, with The Giver, she did a little bit more better at kind of describing who these characters were. Another one that I think is kind of fantastic is third person, that I recently finished this year, earlier. God, I don't know. May, it was a while back. But Cinder, that is sold in third person, and they don't just visit the title character Cinder. We also see different characters and what's going on in their story. And, of course, like I said, third person is usually plot driven. And, there is a lot going on in this story. However, we do get to see who these characters are. Not just Cinder, but um, a little bit of her sister, it's her stepmom, the prince. I think it's really well done. The plot did not take away from character building. Um, of course, there's Harry Potter, another great example. That whole magic and everything else. Still fantastic characters and everything. Own personalities, um, sadness, humor, perfectly told in third person. Um, then there are books like The Hunger Games, which comes to my teasing point. As much as I love the series, it is a big fucking tease on its backstory and its history and everything. It's kind of like she got us there and just kind of stopped. Love the main character and everything. Love the other characters. And there was somewhat of a world building there. But by the time we got to book 3, the revolution happened and everything, but, she kind of brought us into this world, but, it's kind of like explaining historical stuff, like about ancient civilizations and stuff, but never explaining why or how these people got to doing what they're doing, inventing what they invented. It's kind of like that. Like if we only learn partial history of like Greece or Egypt or something. It's like you really get into this thing and then you're like cut off from everything you could have learned about this. Or in this case, what you could have written. Battle Royale, which is compared to that, and I just did a review on that one too. That one was good, but again, not perfect. But it did do a good job of having a plot with a lot of action and everything going, but still touching on who these characters were. I can really go down the list and everything. It's and some books are more for a certain reason and everything, and the plot is more important. The character is more important. Whatever. It really depends on age and everything and what the author wants to do, but for the most part, I really think you need a good balance. And research is also a big key to this too, because your characters need to know what the hell they're talking about. You need to know what the hell you're talking about in your plot. Like me, I wanted to write something. This was kind of inspired by Cinder in a way because I had never seen anyone write about cyborgs. Like, I'm sure there is a lot of books out there and everything, but to my knowledge of what the book was about, plot-wise and everything else, I don't see a lot of them, like, in popularity. So, taken from how cyborgs are treated in Cinder and everything and how they're looked at, it would kind of make sense about the whole government thing and everything. And I was kind of playing on my own ideas about government control and cyborgs, and even a little bit of fantasy stuff, doppelgangers, clones, stuff like that. And the reason I don't have a book out there right now is because I want stuff to be accurate. I know it's fiction and everything, but it still has to be somewhat, realistic in certain terms, especially when you're bringing more scientific things into them. I've been trying to slowly work on a book that deals with bullying. And so it's set in high school, basically, or this girl, her last couple years. It's a YA book and everything that I'm working on. But, I have to go and research about different kinds of people, different issues they've been, involved in and everything. Because when you're talking about something like bullying, you're going to have variety in your cast of characters. I could, but it'd be kind of unrealistic and very boring. If I had just written every character that had issues in this book like me, a not so thin white American woman. This isn't 1950 anymore. You're not gonna go into a school and find everyone that looks like me, or no matter what race you are, or a single religion. Well, there are Catholic schools and stuff, but even those, they don't always have Catholic people and this and that. You get my point. We're in a different time, so it wouldn't make sense for me to have every character exactly like me in a book that talks about high school and bullying and stuff like that. Because with bullying, a lot of isms will come up. Prejudice, sexism, this and that. A lot of issues that people face and everything. So research is important. Not making your characters stereotypes, no matter what they are. Because it isn't always about race or gender or anything. You can stereotype somebody with a disability or something, and like really kind of make them a side character and push them aside and everything. It's really important to make your characters people beyond what they are. It's like you want to be known for who you are more than what you are and everything. So it's really important to really know what the hell you're talking about and everything. It's important to think about your story and how you want to tell it. And no matter what narration you do, it really will be in some way, in one way or another, your character is actually telling it, because they are the reason the story is there. The story is going on because of them. But yeah, that was just kind of my, thoughts on narration and everything, and plot. I think there needs to be a balance. I definitely think people need to do their research to keep that balance. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.